All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Geeky Misfit podcast. I am your host, the Geeky Misfit himself, and today our guest is an actress. She was born and raised in Chicago. She has a degree in business. She went to New York to study acting. She then went back to Chicago to pursue her career. She got in such shows as Chicago MD, and now she is currently on The Chi on Showtime. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Hannah Hall.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah. How's quarantine treating you?
You know, actually, quarantine's been pretty cool with me. We've gotten along well.
How is it in Chicago? I don't know how the numbers are and stuff out there.
It's not bad. Things are slightly opening back up, but it's still that dynamic that's just strange. Even when you're walking down the street, like I go for a walk every day, and it's like you get people that are like, and then you get people that are like, hey, you know, you can tell they're excited just to interact with another human.
Are you guys have like a mandatory mask policy too?
Okay. Yes, they're very strict on that. So masks everywhere. That's definitely a thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in LA, so our numbers are like I think we're top 3 worst, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you guys just closed back down, right?
We did. We opened up for like I think a week, and then everything just got shut back down. So
yeah.
It's crazy times. Are you doing anything like, you know, while this is all going on, new hobbies or
you know what? I'm just pretty much doing everything I you know, when you live alone, you kind of create more hobbies and you try to make up all that time. So I've just been doing that. Okay. Like I go for a walk every day. I paint. I do a lot of things. So yeah, I was thinking about buying me a video game system though.
You say you're getting a video game system?
Yeah.
I actually just I bought one once quarantine started because despite these posters in the background, I'm not a gamer, but I bought one just because there's nothing else to do.
I used to play Halo.
I did get Halo, yeah.
Halo was my game back then. And then Call of Duty came out and it just like eliminated Halo.
Yeah, I got rid of Halo, yeah. I think they're supposed to be making it into a series or movie.
Honestly, I've been waiting for that since I used to play it when I was younger. So I'm excited for that.
Well, what originally happened, I believe, was, do you ever seen District 9 before?
No, I have. No, yes, I have seen District 9.
Yeah, Alien movie. That was supposed to be Halo at first.
I think I remember that too.
The budget was too crazy or something like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I hope they do that game some justice because that was like one of my favorite games.
Yeah, no, same, yeah, likewise. While you know, doing research and finding out more about you, I came across a YouTube video of you looking badass, and you had like some, I don't know what they were, some sort of like knives.
Yeah, they're called sickles.
What are they called?
Sickles.
Okay, yeah, you were like, you know, so how long have you been doing that?
So that actually, dang, how old was I? I think I was like 24, maybe 23. So like 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, I just kind of, I started taking martial arts. It was something I always wanted to do as a kid. Like, I don't know, I just like the art of it. And then as an adult, I just started taking the classes and yeah, that's how that came along.
All the comments under it too were like, the top one I think said she has why is this the only video up? They were like, we need more videos of you and etc.
You know, that video, I had put that video, I don't even remember the reason I put that video up. It was never to like start an Instagram page.
Yeah.
Like you know what? I was auditioning for this Marvel Universe thing.
Oh, dope.
And that's how I was like putting it up. And I forgot that video was even on there. So it's just funny seeing people comment and it's like, that's really.
Ton of comments, yeah. Recent comments too, with stuff from like a few months ago. And
I gotta go look on there.
Yeah, it was funny, yeah. So you just got on social media, right?
Yep.
So are you not a big social media person?
I'm not.
That's good, I think, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of toxic, so.
Very much. And it's something I'm still trying to adapt to. It's exciting, ironically, for me. Like it's like this constant, like, okay, it's toxic, but it's also exciting. I think it's just exciting because it's something new. I had Instagram years ago when remember when it was just for it was exclusive for iPhone users.
Yeah, that was like when it first started.
When it first came out, that's when I had it, and then I had it for a little bit of time afterwards when they opened it up to Android users as well. So that was like 2014 when I deleted my page, and
oh yeah, that's a minute ago.
Yeah. So it's definitely something to get back into, you know.
Has it been crazy since you've been back on, or has it mostly been, positive?
It's been crazy. Like
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
I can't even keep up with the notifications. I don't even, sometimes I'll just go in there really quick and then I just hop
get
right back
off. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go about it. So it really can be toxic. Like I've deleted, I think 2 or 3 Instagram pages of my own, just because sometimes it just becomes too much. Even subconsciously, you kind of just it affects you in ways you're not even paying attention to.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
followers and stuff like that. But yeah,
Yes. And the comments, the messages, it can be overwhelming. And I think about like the little bit of exposure I got. I'm like, I can't imagine what people like really
yeah, like millions
famous
of
people have to go
followers. Yeah, a
through.
buddy of mine, he just got he was on the recent season of On My Block, right? And before, prior he had like a decent following, whatever the case is, and afterwards his following blew up. And I hung out with him, I think a month ago, and we
Mm-hmm.
were just hanging out in Long Beach, and like somebody messaged him and said, "Hey, I see you right now in Long Beach." And another person messaged him, and I was like, "Yo, that's like, I wouldn't even want that. Like that just seems so."
That's creepy. As a
Yeah,
woman, I would flip out.
yeah,
I would flip out.
mm,
Like that's that.
yeah,
See, that's why I keep Mace. I ain't got time for that.
absolutely. I think every woman should keep mace on them. So yeah.
Absolutely.
How was your childhood growing up in Chicago?
So, that's deep, but
Okay.
to
Yeah.
summarize it, I grew up in poverty. I'm gonna be honest with
Mm,
you. Like I grew up in
yeah.
the hood in poverty, and it's
Same. Yeah.
okay. It's nothing I'm ashamed of.
Yeah.
It's
Nor
just
should you
such
be.
a
Yeah.
long, deep story. Um, but yeah, when I relate that to acting specifically, I've always wanted to act, and as a child, it was always something I saw myself doing. It's always something I desired, and the fire just grew with that. But growing up in poverty in the hood, it just don't support those
It doesn't.
those desires.
Yeah.
It
It really
isn't
doesn't.
realistic.
Yeah.
So I had that constant conflict. I mean, for me, I was that kid that, didn't have a lot, but I enjoyed a lot of my childhood because you kind of you become very innovative and
Hmm.
creative when you don't have a lot.
Yeah.
So that's predominantly what my childhood was about.
I'm from the hood too, and I feel like the hood breeds, like the most creative individuals. Just kind of a testimony to what you're saying because we don't have a lot, so it's a matter of we have to be creative with what we have. I remember as a kid, I used to like make my own cards. Like I used to like cut out paper and cardboard and like
Oh my God,
draw
my brother
characters and
used to
stuff.
do
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah. It was
Yeah,
like yeah, it was like
he used to make figures too, and he would have clothes. Like he would like cut out clothes to
he
put
was much more creative than me. Yeah, yeah.
but it's
That's
still
right.
like that's so funny because he
Mm.
definitely did it. We both used to do it. Like it
Yeah,
was the
because you
thing.
kind of just don't have, again, living in poverty, you kind of just don't have access to a lot of stuff. So you have to create your own fun sometimes. So
Absolutely.
mhm.
Like that was the constant.
Do you remember the exact moment you kind of caught the acting bug where you were like, okay, this is really what I want to do?
So, yes, I do. So, as a child, I always like it is so strange. It's something that I'm actually currently constantly reflecting on, just
Mm,
like right now in my life. But as a child, I always like I used to tell myself it was like my own little secret because I had shared that secret with my mother, and she was just like, "Nah, it's not gonna happen."
right.
So, telling a child that it kind of just shuts that door and it closes you in. So
Mm,
it was my little secret that one day I would be on TV. So that was my thing. Like one day I would be on it. One day I would tell myself that all the time.
mm.
And this is so foolish. Don't laugh. But
I
I
feel like I
thought
am, but
that I was
yeah.
just gonna get noticed on the streets. Like come on, that does not
It
happen.
doesn't. I was gonna say it happens in a creepy way where some guy might walk up to you and be like, "Hey, you want to model or something?" But yeah,
Right.
not in a
But
legit way. No.
very rare, very, very rare where it's something real.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember I pretty much I ran for Miss Illinois USA.
Okay.
And you know, the, I did think I was gonna win because I trained so hard and worked so hard. But realistically, when I look back at that, I would have never won. Like you got to be a certain type of person to really be successful in that line of work.
It has to be kind of like you have to train for it for the most part, right? Like,
yeah, you do. And I did train, but you still, it's like you got to have a certain type of life. They don't want nobody like me, like being.
I feel you.
Yeah, it's really, it's different. But after that experience, I remember like it was never my dream to be that type of person, to have that type of role and be Miss USA, Miss Illinois USA.
Mm-hmm.
But I really thought about it and I was like, I always wanted to act. And I literally woke up one day, I called my friend and I was like, hey, you want to move to LA? And she was like, no. And
I was like, did she just say, yeah, that's a great friend? If she just off the bat said,
but look, just wait. I called her back and I was like, you want to move to New York? And she was like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. So then I started searching for schools in New York and I landed on Lee Strasberg. And I was literally in New York a month and a half later at Lee Strasberg.
That's dope.
So that's when I knew, like, I'm gonna go do this. And that was in 2013.
Okay. Are you still friends with that friend?
You know what? We're not, and it's okay. It
life.
Isn't. Yeah, it's life. Like no negative thoughts towards her or anything. It's just you grow apart, and that
naturally
meant for that moment in my life, and that was it.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, actually. So yeah. How was school though?
So Lee Strasberg, it was a beautiful experience. So they teach method acting. And method is really deep. The form of the way it teaches is through sensory. So you don't really learn how to act. You learn you. And that was what that experience was mostly about for me. I only went for a few months because that's all I can afford. But I really wish I could have went longer. And I know it would have really molded me in a different way, but just those few months definitely molded me. It's like you really connect with yourself. And I think that's important with anything. You can't understand anybody else until you understand yourself.
Absolutely.
And, that's our job as actors, to understand this character, empathize with them and see things from their perspective. And I think for me, that's what acting school did for me. It helped me to understand myself and allow myself to be vulnerable and open-minded to understand other people.
Now, do you consider yourself a method actor, or were you did you just kind of take the tools that you were taught and kind of just,
That's what I did. I took the tools that I were taught and I just apply it. I will say, method acting, I think is necessary for certain roles. And when and if I'm approached with that, then I'll utilize those specific skills. But I definitely think, I want to say, I know a lot of actors don't really credit method acting to their form of how they approach a character. But really, I think everyone, when you're dealing with certain characters, you have to kind of, bring in that method.
To some degree.
Method, to that, the training or the approach to how you develop that character, because you got to step into their shoes, and that's what method is about: stepping into their shoes, empathizing, understanding. So it's inevitable. It's inevitable. Like, I think it is.
Robert Pattinson did an interview, I think, a few months ago, and he pointed out that like method actors always they only go method for like characters that are kind of like a-holes. Like you never see anyone like method act for like Mr. Rogers, or like it's always kind of like the dark kind of like, like the, twisted characters.
That has to be his personal opinion, because for me, no, you have to, because everyone isn't kind.
Absolutely, yeah. That's the real world, yeah.
I completely understand what he's saying, because those are deeper levels to go. It's darker levels, because no one wants to go to a dark place. You have to go into that dark. So I understand what he's saying, but I think I think you can also apply method to more positive roles.
I'm curious. I'm a filmmaker myself, and like an actor that I truly want to work with is Shia LaBeouf, who well he doesn't really say he's method, but are you a fan too?
I just watched Honey. What is it?
Honey Boy, yeah,
Honey Boy.
phenomenal.
I cried.
I did too. Like I didn't even expect to cry like the way I did. I was like, yo, this is like really good.
I cried. I always knew he was good because just his work, his concept, it's always
phenomenal.
Consistency. And yeah, and then I remember I watched the interview with Brad Pitt, and Brad Pitt said that he was one of the best actors he ever worked.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Yeah, for Fury. Yeah.
Yes, and I always thought Shia was amazing, and Honey Boy, because Honey Boy was so personal to him, I was so excited to watch it, and oh my gosh, it was so good. And I was so like, beautiful. Shia is a freaking gift.
Yeah. He's underrated. I still feel like no one really, and that's probably just because of personal issues, but he's so talented.
He's so, and it's so funny that you said it, because I said when I watched Honey Boy the other day, I was like, I need to work with him.
He seemed like, I'm just curious about how the process would be, because I know for Fury, like Brad Pitt was saying also, like he didn't shower, and Shia LaBeouf said he pulled a tooth, and the showering thing was getting so bad to where he had to tell him like, hey, we're all in this tank together, so we need, not to mess up your process, but we need you to, shower.
Right. I remember that part too. That's a little
far, yeah. Or again, everybody's process is their process, but would you, even for like Suicide Squad, Jared Leto played the Joker, he sent like use like sex toys and stuff to like the cast members, he's a method actor, so like as Joker, he sent like them these crazy things.
Oh, really? I did not hear about that.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I don't know if that was like necessary. Okay. Yeah, that because I watched so many interviews, right? So, and I've been doing press junkets for a while, and I could always tell when a cast kind of either doesn't really, Ooh. So I was watching Suicide Squad like interviews, and I'm like, they just, something about this seems so like they don't, and Jared Leto was never there for the interviews, and then whenever he was kind of brought up, it just felt so like their answer was kind of so rehearsed. So it's not officially confirmed that he did that, but
right. That's interesting, and that's beautiful that you are that insightful, because I hate to say the word beautiful, because that's like completely conflicting with what it is, but it's interesting and intriguing how we can have or develop that insight for certain scenarios, and whether it be with industry stuff or other stuff, but to have that is pretty.
I think
now I'm gonna be watching. When I watch interviews, I'm gonna be looking out, just period, with everyone.
It's fun. I did a junket once. I'm not gonna say the movie or anything, but or the actor, but as I'm speaking to it was two actors. I'm speaking to them. We're having fun, but it seems like they don't want to talk about the movie, right? So I'm just like, okay, we could just, whatever we're talking, we're just goofing around. And then it ends, and I'm like, all right, it was fun talking to you guys. And they're like, hey, be honest, did you like the movie? And I didn't, right? And I'm like, no. And they're like, we didn't either. We just wanted to ask. And I was like, oh, okay. So
it wasn't. Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was fun. Ever since that moment, I'm like, I'm such a good judge of,
you can see it. You can see it. That is so funny. I think about those moments. I definitely think about those moments where because you always hear about actors and how they discuss certain films that they didn't necessarily agree with or didn't necessarily want to do.
Yeah.
And I just think about those moments and how we should handle it, how we will handle it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's interesting to see that's the way it was handled.
Yeah, it was a fun junket too. Do you have, growing up, I guess, did you have any, or even today, do you have any kind of inspirations, like idols you look to as far as acting?
Yes. So don't judge me. I look up to a lot of male actors.
Okay.
But it's bad. Yeah. But I'm not against female actresses.
Yeah.
I love, everybody looks at careers like Meryl Streep, and we all want to embody
staples,
that. And emulate that. But it's like, and don't get me wrong, Meryl Streep is like,
phenomenal, top notch, yeah.
Right. And you know, people like Nicole Kidman, the consistency. I look at the consistency of people's careers too.
Okay,
You know,
yeah,
somebody
that's
can be
important.
phenomenal, but can you be phenomenal and consistent?
Or
Can
yeah,
you?
are you consistently working? Yeah,
Exactly. And you know, longevity, especially with women too, considering children and all that, the longevity of their career and how
yeah,
consistent they work. So when it comes to that, you know, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, you know, they're still working.
yeah. I
You
just
know,
saw Little Fires Everywhere too. Yeah,
oh my God, I have to binge that. I that's on my
phenomenal. Yeah,
really. Oh my
yeah,
God.
phenomenal.
Okay. So, but like really admiring and wanting to really emulate certain actors, they have been mostly men, and those men are like, okay, Johnny Depp.
Okay,
I,
Johnny, yeah, of course,
I
yeah.
love Johnny because of his like what I look for in actors is the versatility.
Arguably the most versatile actor of all time. Yeah.
Yes, I love him. I love everything about him,
Mhm.
honestly. Leo, another versatile actor.
Yeah.
Love everything about him. Robert De Niro.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I love Robert De Niro. I'm a big fan of mob gangster movies.
Same. Yeah, yeah. I grew up on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then, I mean, like, he's a phenomenal talent as well, but he's another one of my faves. And I just like him. I don't know, like I saw an interview with him and I just really appreciated him so much more.
Mhm.
So that's another person that I'm like, yes.
What was the
Tom
interview?
Hanks. It was, oh my God, it was some years ago. I don't even read. You said, what did he say?
Yeah, like
Or
if you, yeah, like what was
yeah,
it?
he
What did he
was
say?
just basically talking about the type of attitude you should keep, about, you know, staying humble and not getting too ahead of yourself. You know, it's a common mistake, whether it be intentional or
Mhm.
just, you know, a natural,
Subconsciously, yeah,
yeah, thing. But you know, sometimes you get overexcited. Sometimes things come to you so quickly that you just, you know, you jump the gun. And he was
yeah,
just expressing how important it is to just take that breath, you know, look back, sit back, and embrace it all, but not get ahead of yourself thinking you're more than this production or you're more than this, and that, because you can lose that at any second.
yeah, yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, you know, I just appreciate mindsets like that because so often, I mean, you get the opposite mindset so often than not. So,
yeah.
you know, whenever I see someone of his, you know, in his positions saying and expressing something like that, it's important to me, you know, and it shows me their character. So yeah, Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks is another one I love.
Yeah.
We cannot go without saying
Of
Denzel.
course, yeah.
Another male actor I love is Samuel. I feel like he just,
Artist, working actor. Yeah,
yes,
he's
yes,
the staple of consistency. Yeah,
yep, yeah. So those are a few to name. I love them, and I
yeah.
would love to have the versatility that they have, and have the opportunities to show that versatility
Mhm.
and the consistency, of course.
If you could only pick one out of all those actors to work with, who would you pick?
To work with,
Yeah.
mm, wow, that's a tough one. That's a really tough one. I ooh, I would say Johnny.
Okay. What's funny was I was gonna say I could see you in a I could see you in a movie with all of them, but Johnny Depp specifically.
I would say Johnny because I feel like he would show me how to tap into something a little deeper.
Yeah.
And I just feel like I can learn from all of them. But Johnny, you know, I'm a weirdo. I'm a weirdo. Like I
I
feel
am
like I'm
too.
a
It's
book
all
star,
good. Yeah.
you know.
All creatives are. Yeah.
Yeah, all creatives are, but you know, I want to play those weird roles.
Yeah.
They call them character roles.
Mhm.
That would be like a dream come true for me. And he has it. He has it. And
Does,
I feel
yeah.
like because that's something I want to do, I can learn so much more. Because you really have to lose yourself in those roles. You
Mhm.
have to step completely out of your shoes and into somebody else's shoes. And then you have to build on top of that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think I would be able to learn and just really be stretched if I had an experience with him.
Do you remember your first kind of Johnny Depp movie where you were like kind of looking like, who's
I
this
think
guy?
maybe Crybaby.
Oh, that's a good first one. Yeah.
Or maybe Edward. No, I don't know. I feel like you know how an actor will be in something, but then you don't notice them, and then when they get big,
Get
you're like,
older.
oh,
You're
he's
like, oh
playing
yeah.
it too. So I probably seen him in something prior to those movies.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I remember Edward Scissorhands, and I
Yeah.
remember Crybaby.
He has like the coolest. I don't know. Have you heard his story about how he got kind of his first role
Yeah,
was Nightmare on Elm Street,
yeah,
and
it was, and he was in. Wasn't he in a band? And then
yeah,
he I don't know, the way he kind of shifted into acting was very peculiar and different, but it was interesting.
it was he said Nicolas Cage, who was somehow loosely, I don't know if he was related to him or something, but Nicolas Cage gave him the advice that you should act, and he
He
went
did.
out
I remember that. Okay.
to audition for Nightmare on Elm Street, and Wes Craven was looking at headshots at home, and he saw Johnny Depp's, and he kind of like moved it to the side, and his daughter was like, no, 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 this guy, because she had a
Oh,
crush, like he
I
looks
love
cute,
moments
whatever.
like that.
And then he picked it back up, and he was like, okay. So I think Johnny Depp did an interview once where he thanks Wes Craven's daughter like all the time, because she saw his
I love
footsteps. Yeah,
moments like that.
yeah,
I
that's cool.
remember him saying he was like in a band, because then he dropped out of school, and then
Dropped
he
out of
was
high
in
school, I
a
believe.
band,
Yeah,
and then Nicolas Cage told him that. Yeah, I remember that.
yeah.
Okay, that's
I
so
like stories
cool.
like that. Yeah, because it's just inspiring. It feels like faith, because it's like
Yes,
must
it
happen.
is.
Yeah.
It's definitely fate. Like it's
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
What was your? Do you remember your first, I guess, big booking role, or not, or just kind of notable where you're like, oh, okay, this is cool.
You know what? I want to say maybe The Shy. It's still something I'm kind of breaking into. Like I don't know. Like it just hasn't hit me yet. Even now, it just still hasn't hit me. Like a lot of people are like, no, that show is like a
Yeah,
big deal, and they're like, it's on Showtime. It isn't on like this.
yeah, that's a
And
big network. Yeah,
yeah, and I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I'm still just kind of settling into it.
yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I love The Shy and I love Tiffany, et cetera, et cetera. But the story is so much bigger than her. So maybe that's why I haven't like really, really settled into that feeling.
right, yeah,
But like I don't know. It's just so much more. I feel like it's so much more important stories being told. It's like, yeah, go Tiffany, but like, look, this is what needs to be told, and this is
yeah.
what needs to be received and embraced.
Well, I think your character definitely this season is, a bigger part of the story.
Yeah,
So, like,
yeah,
which I enjoy. Your character's arc has been crazy, but great.
yeah. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah. Do you
Sorry,
have?
my stuff is just like
You're good. I thought it was me for a second. I was like, what is happening? Do you have any favorite, I guess, moment or scene or episode in the series as well?
um. What is my favorite moment? Um. You know, this is like a series of moments, but this
Mm-hmm.
season, like you just said, they gave me more,
Mm-hmm.
and I just really enjoy being able to be in scenes with everybody because
Okay. Yeah.
you just learn. I want to see how I want to see how we all interact. I want to see how it is because the bigger the scene, the bigger the cast and the scene, it's more difficult to shoot it
Mm-hmm.
because you got to get everybody in there. You
All the
know whether
coverage and etc. Yeah.
exactly, and they shoot it different ways. They do a steady cam, and they do this, and they do that. Like
Mm-hmm.
so. I think I have a series of favorite parts just because of that. But I will say, like, Jacob and I, we always have a ton of fun. And like some of the most serious things we have had so much fun with. So like I know not the toilet, the plunger scene. We could not take that. It was season 1, episode
Mm-hmm.
10, when I was hitting a guy with a plunger.
Oh, okay. Now I remember. Yeah.
And Jacob and I, we were laughing the whole time because we
Yeah.
just thought like, this dirty plunger hitting somebody in the face. Like more than you getting hit, I would be blue at the fact that you sitting here hitting me with a plunger. That's nasty. You know what I'm saying? So we laughed at that whole scene. So that's a memorable moment. I think for the next couple of episodes that's gonna come up. Those were my favorite. Like I think for this season, for all the seasons, period. I think episode 9 is my favorite.
Episode 7 just aired, right?
Yep, episode 7.
Okay, so okay, so excited. Yeah, it's you and Emmett's relationship has been yeah, it's been crazy. How was it working with Corey?
Corey was cool.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's such a sweetheart. He's such a gentleman. He came in, did what he had to do, and I mean, like, we all like politicked afterwards.
Right.
But
Yeah.
man, I really enjoyed working with him. It was a really quick scene, but it was cool. It was funny because I guess neither one of us are smokers, and they use like this herbal stuff.
Oh, okay.
And like, it's funny. I've had to smoke that stuff in the scene, and I'm like, I'm like,
yeah.
look casual, and I'm talking, and he struggled with it too. So that was funny. Like, okay, well, I'm not alone on this then.
Right.
But yeah, it was a nice, cool scene. We both, he's from Chicago, so we both were like, sometimes they give us a little leeway to play around with the dialogue. So he was adding some Chicago dialogue to it. So that was pretty cool too.
Okay, that's dope. Yeah, he seems fun. I want to get him on the podcast one day. He seems like he's a fun guy to have on.
Down to earth, super cool, down to earth guy. Yeah.
Do you remember where you were when you got the call that you got booked for the show?
Yeah. So, do I remember? Okay, so I remember the first time I got it because we shot the pilot for the shot in 2015, but it was a different cast. It didn't get picked up, and then in 2017, that was the new pilot that we got with this cast. Okay. But in 2015, I remember I was literally at home. My agent called me from a different number, and I didn't pick up.
Right, yeah, you one of those people too?
Yeah, and then she left a voicemail. I didn't even check the voicemail because I just thought it was like some spam. Right. And then she called me 2 days later, and I was at home, and she was like, I was calling you to tell you you got booked. And like, oh, wow. Okay, cool. Right. And I think that was in 2015. That was my first booking period for like a booking. Like that was before Chicago Med.
Okay.
Unfortunately, it didn't get picked up back then, but it did get picked up in 2017. In 2017, I cannot remember where I was.
Gotcha. Okay.
What I was doing, I don't know. I know for the audition, when I did re-audition in 2017, I remember I was like trying to run this little event show because I used to do like marketing and stuff. I was trying to like run this little show, and I had to like be this lie and go do this audition and come back. And I just remember the audition. I don't remember when they said like, your books.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any moment of like where you first were recognized? Do you remember like walking on the street or something and someone was like, oh my God, that's Tiff? Or
yes.
Yeah.
I was leaving yoga and I was a mess. And somebody was like, you know what, that actually happens to me more often than not. Like I'm always like coming from a workout class and looking a complete mess. And that's when people notice me the most. Whenever I'm like dressed up, no one's saying nothing. Yeah. Now it's like more often because I'm in this season a little bit more, so more people notice me. But before it was like they only would notice me when I was like hot, bothered, hurried up. You
don't want to be noticed, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that I was leaving a yoga class one day. Home.
No crazy interactions in person?
I think they're awkward. Like I remember one time I was at a little concert, and the music is playing and they want to hold a whole conversation. I'm just like, it's loud.
This isn't the place to
It's not the place to ask me when did I know I wanted to be an actress.
Right.
That's a pretty broad question. You get some people that are like kind of follow you, which is strange.
Yeah,
I don't consider myself like a celebrity or famous even, but I think it's so awkward. And I think about people who are really famous and I'm like, oh my God, it has to really be bad.
Yeah, like how do they handle this? Yeah.
yes, like you definitely get weird people like to just follow you. You'll get people to hop. I've had a couple of people hop out the car. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever got starstruck, so I never kind of got the fascination with people when they kind of like hopping out the car and stuff. It's just sort of like, okay,
Likewise.
that's not like that, it's not that deep for me. So,
Likewise.
yeah.
I've never gotten starstruck.
Have you come close? I think the only person Zendaya probably was the closest person that I got starstruck with.
Who?
Zendaya.
Zendaya. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. For me, I've never gotten starstruck, but I've never gotten starstruck.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know though. I mean, like you never know. Like, look, say I meet Johnny or something, you just never know.
Tomorrow you meet Johnny Depp, you're gonna be like, well, the
But you know,
starstruck.
I'm such a cool, chill person. Like, I don't know. I'm just real laid back and relaxed, and
Yeah.
I don't like to feel uncomfortable. So I definitely don't want other people to feel uncomfortable.
Gotcha. Yeah. I think for me, too, I'm also just kind of naturally awkward. So then I kind of don't want to like awkwardly walk up to somebody. I'm just like, I'll just let you, do you.
How are
So
you naturally awkward?
I am. I've come to embrace it, but like I've had so much kind of like even doing press junkets and stuff, kind of like awkward moments to a degree. But it kind of I don't know. It's kind of part of my charm or whatever. So I just embrace it. But yeah, I haven't really got starstruck. I've met Leo once at like an after party for something, and he shook my hand, and I didn't want to wash my hand for like a week. But
Oh
it
my
wasn't
gosh.
yeah. And that was the night he also won. I think it was a SAG award for Revenant.
Revenant. Okay.
Yeah. So that was like one of the greatest memories of my.
That's dope. Oh my god, I get emotional even just like thinking about those moments. Like, congrats to him though. He
long overdue too. Yeah. Long overdue. Do you I guess have every actor kind of does, but do you have aspirations to win, like an Oscar and a Golden Globe, and etc.?
I do. Can you hear me? It's like frozen.
Yeah, I broke up. Am I frozen still?
Hello?
Hold on. I can hear you. It says my connection is unstable. Am I moving yet or no?
Yeah, you're moving.
Okay.
Am I moving?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I feel like, the goal for any of us, we can't say like, oh, I don't care about winning it. Everyone winning that Oscar or that award is just acknowledgement, and everyone wants to be acknowledged and appreciated.
Yeah.
For me, honestly, I'm at a point in my life, like I do want an award. I'm not even gonna lie, I do. But I told myself that I'm not gonna just really look forward to only an award. It's such a blessing just to be working. And like, that is so much for me. That is so much for me. And it's such a blessing to be trusted with someone's art, with someone's creative mind, and be able to stretch and understand other people. So honestly, I tell myself, as long as I'm working and having more and more opportunities, when that moment comes where I'm nominated or, whatever it may lead to, I just want to embrace being able to do what I do and not depend on this award to make me feel valid.
I think it'll happen. No, I get you. I'm sure it'll happen. I hope years from now somebody goes back and look at this interview and is like, oh, look, this is when she first mentioned, and now she just won an Oscar for her movie with Johnny Depp.
I can reflect too. And you know what? I used to be one of the people that's like, can't wait to win, can't wait to win.
Same. Mm-hmm.
But who did I watch? What is her name? Gosh, she plays the mother all the time. She
Loretta Devine.
The mother all the time, like in 2 or 3 films.
Either Loretta Devine or Jennifer Lewis.
No, I feel like it's a W. What is her name?
What's the Not Lathan movie?
Love and Basketball.
Wasn't that Alfre Woodard?
Alfre Woodard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's okay. What?
Yeah, the W. Yeah.
I spoke. I watched one of her interviews. She came to Chicago, and they just interviewed. I forgot why they even interviewed her, but it was a live interview, and she was just talking about how it felt when she got nominated for an Oscar, and it was she was taken back from it because she didn't expect it. And I feel like those moments are way more beautiful than looking forward to getting a nomination and not getting it.
Yeah.
And that's when I shifted my mindset and changed. Like I said, you know what? I'm not gonna look for trying to get an award. I'm gonna wait and let it come to me and enjoy that moment. And you know, it's a beautiful moment.
Right.
So she's the one who really shifted my mindset with that.
Okay. Yeah, that's a beautiful way to look at it too.
Yeah.
Do you I guess how was it working with Lena?
I'm sorry?
How was it working with Lena?
Lena's dope.
Yeah.
I feel like just because she's from Chicago, it's that instant like, you my dog.
Instant connection, yeah.
I love people from Chicago. I'm like a big Chicago, like I advocate Chicago all the time.
Okay, dope, yeah.
For me, it's like, oh, Chicago family, straight up. You know, Lena, I enjoy her creative mind. Like, I think, man, I'm so, okay, don't think I'm like corny or anything, but like, good. I just look at how everything evolved and blossomed for Lena more than anything. Like when I think about Lena, I think about in 2015 when her baby got, you know, like bald, but then it didn't get picked up. But then it wasn't supposed to get picked up in 2015. It was supposed to get picked up in 2017.
Yeah.
Everything just kind of rolled out for her. And it was just, you know, it's a reminder that in life, sometimes we're so upset that things don't happen when we want it to happen. But then when it does happen, it's like, it needed to happen right now.
All in God's timing too.
So I'm so grateful, like just to, I'm happy for her, man. Like honestly, I'm so happy for her. And I'm happy to see all the things that she's doing. I think she's a wonderful woman. And I think that she's going to continue to grow. And I love her creative mind. I love what she's doing for her community. And because, you know, sometimes you got to be that gatekeeper and you got to be that voice. And
absolutely.
I think, you know, she's doing that. So I'm happy for her.
That's dope. I think it's interesting that it didn't get picked up in 2015 because I saw a post recently, it was an article that Lena Dunham, I believe that's her name, the show Girls. Have you heard of it?
Girls?
Yeah, it was on HBO, I believe.
Oh, Girls, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen it. I hear it's a good show. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it either. It had Lena, what's her last name?
Dunham, right?
Okay, Dunham. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, she was the creator of the show. And I read that when the show got picked up, whatever, I don't think she even shot a pilot. She kind of had like a loose outline, didn't have like the rest of like the seasons planned or nothing, just barely any information, right? And the show gets picked up. And for like Issa Rae, as an example, like she had to go through hell and high water for Insecure, and you mentioning, you know, the pilot not getting picked up right away. It seems like it's very hard for Black creatives to kind of we have to do extra work in order to even get what, you know, other people are getting.
Or even get half of what they're getting.
Basically, yeah. And do you feel that way as an actress that you have, as a Black actress, that you have to do more?
I do think. I think it's always going to be adversity with me. You know, if it's not one thing, it's another. I do have an understanding that there is limited options and opportunities. I walked into this knowing that. I do have aspirations to be mainstream and be in productions with people like Johnny and like that. Yeah. Those are really goals. Like seriously, those are dreams and goals. And you know, so I don't let those circumstances condemn me or make me feel stagnant or limited.
Yeah.
But I do understand that my options are limited. And I just, you know, I keep telling myself, you know, I'm grateful that the industry is opening up to us a little bit more. Like, you know, I know it's not what everybody wanted to be at this point. Yeah. But when you reflect on what's on TV now compared to what was on TV a decade ago or a decade before that, it is a difference.
Much, yeah, big difference.
So, I'm grateful for that. And it's only going to get better, I think, and I believe. So I'm going to just keep pushing and keep working. I know I have to work harder. I know I have to build relationships and carry myself differently. Because even that, if I carried myself a certain way and this person carried themselves a certain way, I would get blackballed way quicker. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think I'm still gonna do what I need to do and do overtime with it, and hopefully get there. It's unfortunate. Like, it's unfortunate to even have the mindset that like, oh, I'm just gonna work hard and get what I'm gonna get, because it shouldn't be that.
Yeah, it
But
shouldn't. Yeah.
it is.
I spoke to an actor a few weeks ago, and he's been in the industry for a long time. And we were talking about, actors he looked up to and he's got to work with, and he's got to work with some dope people. And we spoke about Daniel Day-Lewis, about how, he's the actor that kind of takes his time with projects, right? So he's not going to be consistent, really. He's more like, I'm kind of picky with what projects I'm going to choose. And I asked the actor, I said, would you is that a style that you would like to do? Are you picky with your projects? And he said, he's Puerto Rican. He's like, I don't have the luxury of doing that because there's not a lot of roles for us. And I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, that's the unfortunate truth. So it's more for him, all these years, it was more about just working. He had to book projects. He said some of them he didn't really want to do, but it's working. So.
And that's the horrible truth behind it.
Yeah, it is.
It's funny because even what I've mentioned about just wanting consistency so much, that we coincided on what we want. And I don't even know who this person is, but we know that he's considered a minority. I'm a minority. And we know that we have these things working against us, It's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. And for us, I'm sure Daniel Day-Lewis been picking films for years now, being picky. But for us to even get to that point, we're going to be old people. You know what I'm saying?
Because if you think of like Black actors today who have that kind of power, it's Denzel, Will, Viola Davis, probably, and probably, right? Because we still don't even know.
Right? Because it's
I can't even
limited when you compare. It's very limited.
And that only happened when they got to like their kind of careers now later in their life, unfortunately. So with everything that's happening in the world right now with pandemic, and we see a lot of protests are still going on and etc. How are you kind of staying sane with everything going on?
I'll say this first and foremost. It is so emotional in a good way and a bad way.
Yeah.
It's emotional because you see all these different races coming together.
Yeah.
And it's just a beautiful thing. It's beautiful to see that. I think as much as we hate this pandemic, I think it was necessary. It was ordained. It was meant to happen. And if it didn't happen, you would not see all these people. These people are only together because they were sat down doing nothing, and they had the time to see and focus on what's really going on. And sometimes that's what's needed, and that's what's necessary. You have to sit down, X out everything else around you to really focus on what the issue is and what you need to focus on. And I feel like this pandemic really propelled that. So as much as we hate it, it was needed. It was needed, because if this pandemic wasn't going on and this stuff happened, nobody would have been protesting like they was.
No attention to it, yeah.
No attention to it. It would have just been another Black man dead. You know what I'm saying? It just would have been a consistent thing. But, it's emotional, and I've had my moments. I don't try to be deep into the media or watch the news a lot.
Depressing, yeah.
Right. I've had my moments where I've been glued to the news, but then I've had to, step back and look away. But, I'm a person that tries to stay attached to hope. I'm really spiritual, and, I'm just like, you know what? Something got to give, something got to change. I am knowledgeable, and I have a knowing that this world is, this is not happily ever after. You know what I'm saying?
It's not, yeah.
So, and it will never be happily ever after. But, I do have hope that there could be a change. There could be a change. Will racism ever go away? No, it will not. That's just realistic, and it is what it is. But, equality, change, and consequences, stuff like that, it needs to be implemented. And I really have hope that there will be change when it comes to those specific topics.
I do too. I feel like we are put on this, I believe Tupac said something similar, but we are put on this earth to kind of just to spark the change, right? So hopefully that the next generation, the generation that follows, the stuff that we do today allows them to live a better life. And then they do the work. So the next generation after them, to live a better life and etc.
Absolutely. And it's happening already. Like, one thing I've noticed when I was growing up, I don't know, it was different in different parts of the country. But when I was growing up in Chicago, mixed children were not common.
They weren't out here either for me.
Yeah, it wasn't common. And now you see more mixed children than anything. And just from that, that connection, I feel like change is coming. Change is slowly but surely coming. And just from that should break the barrier. That should break.
With what's happening, which also breaks my heart every time I hear about it, with Breonna Taylor, and there still being no real arrests and etc. And a lot of other stuff kind of just happening in the media in the world. I see that, our Black women are, they are the most disrespected group of people in the world, like Malcolm X said. I want to ask you, and I'm starting to ask all my Black guests this, but how can we as Black men better protect Black women?
I mean, first, I always say, use your voice. Use your voice. More times you hear a Black woman taking up for a Black man, but how many times do you hear a Black man taking up for a Black woman?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, I will say, our families is broken. Everything in the Black community is broken. And I know a lot of people, they get upset with the interracial couples and stuff. I mean, love is love. If somebody fall in love with someone that's not the same race as them, I ain't got no problem with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think there needs to, how can I articulate this? There just needs to be more understanding for sure. The Black family, the Black community, we're so broken.
We are. Yeah.
There's
so much layers to it. Yeah.
Exactly. And it goes all the way back to slavery days. They broke up our families. So, family isn't even seen the same or embraced the same because it's so broken.
Yeah.
More times than not, you see a single Black woman than any other race. And, our Black men need to acknowledge, understand. Now, I'm not saying, be with a Black woman because we got to fix this. If you meet a white woman and you fall in love, you meet a Hispanic woman, you fall in love, that's your business. Right. Whatever, no judging. But, don't turn your back on a Black woman. Please understand that your mother is Black and your sister is Black, and you still have to protect
the person that brought you into this world, yeah.
Exactly. And your children, whether they're mixed or not, let me tell you, I'm mixed. And if I step into a courtroom, they're not going to say, she's mixed. No, she's Black.
Black, yeah.
So I think they need to use their voice, speak up for us, protect us, understand our brokenness. We had to, the husbands were taken from the wives, shipped off to another plantation, and then we had to take care of all of this. And, we get this categorized attitude of like the attitude or the strong
stigma, yeah.
Yeah, we get this negative stigma, but it's because it was embedded in us. We had to do these things for so long, and it just cycled through generation to generation to generation. And I feel like people are misconceiving things and people are misunderstanding things, and our men are running away from us because of this stigma and because of something that's embedded in us. But really, you need to understand and you need to acknowledge and build on that. Take up for us. We so used to fighting that nobody is fighting for us.
Yeah.
And that's the common issue, really. We're so used to fighting. No one is fighting for us. And I think people just need to speak up a little bit more. And you do have Black men that do speak. But, you know, if every other race is looking at nobody defend us, they not gonna defend us either. You know
Absolutely,
what I'm saying?
yeah. No, you're right.
So
Yeah.
they probably thinking they own Black men don't even defend them. So why should we? No, show them that, acknowledge us, understand us, and you know there will be some type of different insight or different perspective when it comes to Black women. So that's such a, you know, it's such a ongoing, broad.
There's so many layers to it and stuff.
Yeah,
It's
it's
yeah.
so much because it's just so much brokenness. It's so much pain. It's so much this. It's so many things you can do to really fix the situation. But it begins with, you know, understanding first. You know.
I just asked because like the other day I saw a post about that an artist took Tory Lanez off of their song because of the Meg situation, right? And all the comments under it were like, "That's too much. You shouldn't have did." It was all Black men saying, "You know, that's too much. You shouldn't have did that. We don't even know the full story, and etc. Y'all are blowing this out of proportion." And I'm like, why are we not defending Meg right now? We don't know the full story, but let's defend her regardless of the situation. And it was just so kind of heartbreaking just to read the comments and see like, you know, the reactions people were having. It was really just heartbreaking.
It was, and I know what you're talking about because I did see that, and I was like, whoa, you know. But I don't know, man. You know, it's so deep. It's so deep.
It is, yeah.
And then if you do have that one person that speaks up, it's like, you know, now everyone's attacking that person.
Yeah, that was me because I commented on the post, you know, defending the artist's right to take Tory Lanez off the song. So, and a bunch of people were then attacking me, but that's the negative side of social media, as we're talking about. So, you know. Yeah. Before I let you go, we have a segment called Rapid Fire Questions. I'm going to ask you. It's called Geeky Misfit Rapid Questions. So mostly they're kind of nerdy related questions. The last three questions are a bit deep, so you can take your time. But the other questions, try to answer, you know, quickly if you can. Okay. Batman or Iron Man?
Batman.
You're the first person to pick Batman. And I'm like,
I grew up loving Batman.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Everybody's been picking Iron Man, and I've just been so like offended, low key. DC or Marvel?
Marvel movie, DC cartoons.
Oh, that was a great answer. Pac or Biggie?
Pac.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert. Super
speed or super strength?
Speed.
Phone call or text?
Phone call.
Spielberg or Scorsese?
I love mob movies, so I would have to go with Scorsese.
If you could only work with one, would you rather work with Spike Lee or Denzel?
Denzel.
Instagram or Facebook?
Instagram.
Big pre-COVID, big party or small gathering?
Small gathering.
Best advice you ever received?
Dang. This one of them deep questions.
Yeah, the next two questions are gonna be you take your time.
Oh man. Dang it. You know, these questions, you think about it, every little thing is popping in your head. You kind of think,
was that the best? Was that the best?
Right, was that the best? And I'm probably not going to say which one was the best.
Yeah. Well, whatever's coming to mind.
Yeah, I'll say this one, it's about, I forgot how it's phrased verbatim, but how your failure contributes to your success. Like sometimes we think that, oh, I failed, I'm not gonna make it, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that. But no, you have to fail to get to success. So that was a good one. It's not a good one. Yeah. Sorry.
No, that was great actually. What's one thing you wish to change in the world?
That's a deep one. Watch, I'm gonna wake up 3:00 in the morning, like, this was the one thing.
And be like, damn it, and that was better advice too.
Right,
Yeah.
right. What's one thing? Wow, I wish. Okay, this is gonna sound really corny and cliche.
It's okay.
But I wish everyone could experience agape love. Because I
That's a
feel
great
like
answer,
the world
actually.
would be a way better place
Mhm.
if we all experience real love, not the
Yeah.
fake stuff, like agape love. I feel like everything would be better, and that can X out so many other things, racism, hate, and all that.
Yeah.
That's
I
my
think that was actually the best answer so far from all my guests. So yeah. If you can go back and give yourself some advice, like a younger you, what would it be?
Protect your peace, follow your heart and your spirit, and do what you want to do. Don't let nobody else try to dictate that or change it.
I feel like that helped me as you said that too. So that was that was great. Yeah. Dope. I appreciate you, talking to me and stuff and doing this. Hopefully it was fun for you as well. It's fun for me.
Thank you. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. Do you have anything you want to shout out, whether it be social media, any project coming up, the next episode?
The next we got 3 more episodes for this season. I hope you guys like the way it ends. It's really funny how it ends. It's bizarre, I'll say. So just look out for that, and hopefully you guys do see me in something.
The Johnny Depp movie that's directed by Scorsese.
Oh my God, that would be like a full circle moment.
Manifestation,
Yes, let's manifest that. Johnny Depp, Leo, Robert De Niro, any of them.
All of them, yeah. Scorsese directed, mafia movie, all that.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I'll let you go again. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and you have a good one. Stay safe and all that. So.
You too.